Anywho.
I stalk my next meal.
This game takes forever to start. That's kind of weird. Okay. Anyways, once again, this is Blaze's viewer battles, so it's going to be just a little bit of pub and feeding and having some fun, casual games with the viewership here. But pretty much, if you guys have any questions, ask them in chat, and I would be happy to answer some Q&A directly from you guys here. Pretty much no delay on the stream, like a few seconds, so it shouldn't be that big a deal.
I remember the first day.
So, looks like there was a little bit too much. Why isn't it the Blue Jays? Because the Blue Jays suck. I don't know. I'm not really into baseball, honestly. Like, I'm fine with watching it, but I've never, like, followed anybody. So, Ursa killing a Felina. Not really the best thing. I am bad at timing my voids. Whatever. It's not like he's harassing me too hard. Exhort is a great aggressive skill build for last hitting, but it's very, very weak in survivability, so that's going to be something that I exploit in the near future. When I move in towards that 6-minute mark and start being that much more potent, that much more dangerous. Sunstrike is invoked, so that's something to keep an eye on, but otherwise it's just a standard mid matchup. I'll take a few hits here and there. I'll miss some CS because I'm terrible. That kind of stuff is pretty commonplace, so we're all familiar with how this works. I don't get to feed First Blood this time around because there is the Ursa already picking that up, but yep. That's the plan, Oliver. That's the plan. What's your next item going to be on SK? Well, I will go Veil, probably. Oh no, Ghost Scepter is what I mentioned because of the fact that I was up against Mercurial. And she has that haunt that only does interrupts blink if it right clicks. So if I Ghost Scepter, Epi, blink, and then burrow, I'll be fine. So that was going to be my next intention, but not a big deal either way. Cold Snap up. I'm still going for right click harass because he hasn't been harassed too much himself, which is no surprise because I'm level 2. So rune spawn down there. I'm not going to get it yet because my bottle has still been delayed significantly, but there we go. There's that. Now I can start putting pressure that way. One weakness of Invoker is his immobility. Because he's so confident in his mana, he actually is rarely going to be going for a bottle and going for runes, and that leaves it open to others, even somebody as slow as Night Stalker. It's not directly contested. There's a debate in my head as whether I want to void for CS or void for harassment. I'm going to wait till level 5 though, I think. So... got that there, that's nice. And I think I'm going to go pick it up. It's a long walk, but I feel it's worth it. Because I can guarantee the rune, the supports aren't going to roam to it. And I'm only missed about 2 creeps of experience. So I'll go head back out there. The question is, with this mindset, I'm going to start putting pressure out. He only has 1 salve, 1 in quas. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm level 3. He has a bit of a level advantage. But I can start doing that a little bit here and there, and I think it'll pay off. We do have a problem with the fact that people are getting kills on other lanes, and that's something that Tuskar needs to steamroll a little bit, and steamrolling requires actually having an advantage when I go into the other lanes and they're as high level as me. It's not going to be really as effective when you go to those other things. He is already level 5. That bothers me substantially. But I understand it's because the lane's pushed out. I can't get too close to this creep wave because of Cold Snap, so that's something to watch out there. Boom. So that's that. Night Stalker, why you attack so slow during daytime? Anywho, he still has Cold Snap, and until level 7, I'm not going to have to fear more than 2 spells. Wow, uphill miss for the win.
Darkly now.
So he thinks he can Sunstrike me, but he hasn't invoked it, so not a big deal. So I should start exhausting my mana pool now that I've hit level 5, and that will allow me to regenerate and do whatever I want. I have so much potential here. He's got Cold Snap coming up in a moment, so I can't do too much more. So that works fine for me. It's forcing out a salve, which I would happily try to negate, but I don't think I'll be able to.
Night's procession.
So, top again. I don't have boots, so it's not as good for me to contest it. It wasn't good for me to contest it necessarily the first time around, that's why I got this level of disadvantage, but I'm kind of comfortable with it. Looks like rune was taken either way, so it's not going to be a factor. Which means boots is the next thing up for grabs. They need a salve apparently, and that kind of is annoying, but whatever. As long as they're not dying, then I'm fine with the Shadow Shaman picking up a salve. There's no such thing as map packs for Dota 2, it's client-based.
To battle. Night devours.
You think you get a lot out of that cold snap, but the creeps actually weren't hitting me, so it's just me doing my thing.
Stalking. Yes.
He does have Sunstrike, so I'll have to watch that. But as long as I'm not in auto attack range, I think I'll be in a good position. And now it's nighttime. Gonna go for a second the Hunter. And I'll probably core up a south. I can see that being beneficial. So that's definitely what I want to go for. I just want to wait for this creep wave to dissolve so I can go for it very nicely. Yeah, I'll go for it now.
Turn one. Too dark is bottled ink.
Level 7 is Night Stalker at its scariest, effectively. I mean, you can, obviously there's time frames in and after that that'll be a big deal. Level 8's good, level 9's good, but still around that time frame that I'm looking for.
Night's procession.
Ah, missed the void. I feel bad about that. I guess it's just fog and nighttime. Because right now I'm getting creep night vision. I'm not getting my own. But pretty soon we'll be ready.
Attack.
I shouldn't have bottled there. Oh well. So Ring of Health, straight up, Mirana, doing her thing. Whatever. Gonna be another game? I don't know, honestly. I guess if there's interest, I'd be happy to do one more. But there's nobody talking in chat, is the only thing. Like, I love to answer your guys' questions, so, if you guys have any topics to go on into, I'm all ears, 100%. Bum, bum, bum. Anti-mage level 3, Mirana level 5. What's wrong with that picture? Don't know what's going on there. So, once Tusk gets his ulti, he'll actually put out a lot of potential. I was interested to hear that in an interview when I was asking, I'm trying to remember who it was. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But one of the professional players in one of my interviews, they were talking about Tusk as far as moving on. I think it was somebody from Dignitas. But either way, Tusk moving into the metagame, and if he can be in captain's mode and be picked up, they thought that he'd be best in a number 4 role, so a supportive thing where he just initiates with that snowball. And I think that's an interesting mindset. I don't know if I exactly follow the logic. I mean, snowball's strong. It's a great stun. It's great for putting people in the right place, and a good composition. I could see using it. I don't know. Number 4 Tusk just doesn't seem to have that, extra oomph, extra wallop. Either way. Thoughts on QPad? Full opinion about the team potential. I love their flexibility and how they're very, very willing to try new things. I love the fact that they can jump in and say, okay, well, I like Kunkka mid. I'm going to try it out for half a dozen games and see how it works and get the synergy up and try different things. If anybody can find an innovative strategy, I think they can. But where it really comes down to is when they're on their game, their individual skills. They still think they need a lot of time, and the gaming house will reduce the amount of time that they need to get synergized up for a good competitive game. I don't think they're there yet, but I definitely think they have potential to be a tier 1 team. I don't think that's going to be within the next month and a half. So, be a little patient, but 2 months from now, they might be able to perform well enough to be slotted for the qualifiers of TI, and from there, we'll see what they have to bring to the table. What advice do you... Can Night Stalker hard carry? No. Not in the term of hard carry. I mean, you... Don't want you guys to have to watch a pause the whole time, but it does give me a chance to talk. Anyways, Night Stalker hard carry, not in that sense. He gets a nice attack speed boost. He gets increase of 75 attack speed, so he gets a nice bonus there. He can anti-carry with his Crippling Fear if they don't have a BKB or a Manta, but that's about it. So, no, he's not a carry, plain and simple. He's a gank-oriented hero that can semi-carry. He can dish out a lot of physical damage or just magic damage, depending on how you build him. But he won't be carrying for you anytime soon. So, I mean, there's no easy way to make a remake happen that gives everybody here the password without just wasting a bunch of time. So, yeah, that'll probably be how it has to go. But nevertheless, new game is problem. So... he got away. Oh well. Well, if he's not coming back, a 5v4 isn't going to be very interesting. So, I don't know. He's in range of a bunch of creeps, so I'm going to go in against him. And since I have a haste rune, I can move around a bit, go for another void, and then, nah, never mind. I could have crippled him, but it only right now is a 10% chance, or no, it's a 40% because it's nighttime, but it's a short duration, it's not that big a deal. Tinker's back, cool, we're good. So, he only missed like 30 seconds, and we're back into it. I had another question that I kind of stopped answering halfway through.
Saved for later.
What advice do you give for playing in pubs? I find it someday, no matter what role I play, no one ever gets support items. Ward Donkey. Sometimes the support will play carry, Omni for VS going hard carry. Yeah, that's definitely a big issue, a big impact. The easiest solution I had for a long time was just playing support myself. That's actually probably why I got into support so much, because just, you know, everybody wants to carry. Well, then deal with it by making sure that you have a support one way or another. And that does mean that you have to do crappy things like buying ward, courier, flying courier, sentries, everything in the book, and sit there with magic wands and boots and feel terrible about yourself. But honestly, the idea of Dota when you go into a pub game is to do your best to win. I mean, that's what generally people try to do is strive to move up in the matchmaking bracket, and the best way to do that is to win games. So if you're trying to do the best you can to win, then there's really nothing to stop you from just contributing to the team in that regard. If you realize there's not going to be a support, then try to do what you can to supplement that. Of course, there's always going to be those time periods where you thought, like with the Omni Knight Vengeful Spirit example, you thought that you were going to get support, and then suddenly they just start building crappily. First of all, just because they don't buy wards doesn't mean you can't. I mean, I hate it, but there are times where I've had to play a #1 hero, like a hard carry farmer, and just bought wards because nobody fucking would, and it's so much better to not die and just farm in your jungle safely for 6 minutes than to worry about who's actually dropping gold in that 150 item. Not good practice, not what should be happening, but in that situation, it's necessary, and it would be a good idea to follow through like that. He doesn't have Hex, so this is going to be a very, very difficult charge to lead, but it's still possible. The question is whether or not he blinks into the trees. It looks like he got Moonlight Shadowed out, so I'll walk him in, I guess. Stand there. If we stand in these two places, they're stuck, but it looks like they're just going to go for blinks, and nothing will be really a large impact. Yeah, path block would have been the best option there. Oh well. But yeah, no, there's a lot of situations where you try to just support yourself if you can pick the hero. Otherwise, just look for opportunities to say learn good warding habits, and even if the support isn't buying them, maybe you can. It's not great, and you can always use that as an excuse when you don't have as much, as many big items as the other carry, but it's still a big deal.
There's no escape. Night silence. Daywalkers die.
really. That's just irritating. I should have bottled earlier. And the enemy Ursa gets Roche, which is something that pretty much, if you see an Ursa or a Lycan, your main objective, all you have to do to make sure that hero is less effective than he possibly could be, is to not let Roche happen. You don't actually need a point in darkness until an actual daybreak. He has Vlad, so it's not really point. There's not too much point in harassing him. But nevertheless. Oh my gosh, the spam, it's terrible.
The beast.
Why do I need to be talked up to women? I have a wife.
Walking nightmare.
And for the follow-up question, yeah, I'm 23.
Daywalker, Night Stalker.
So daybreak strikes. I want to be level 9. Plain and simple. I want to be able to have darkness available if I need it. It's not necessarily the best usage of a skill point because rank 1 darkness really is lackluster. But in those emergency situations, it's something that you need to have available.
Night's procession. Suffer. Nix on that.
So
I stalk my next meal.
I need another last hit. Pick up Dust so that I don't have to worry about Moonlight Shadow or Ghost Walk for that matter.
On the hunt.
You're an awful person.
Battle.
No courier, stay.
This
Nah, I'm very, very happily married, so that shouldn't be a factor.
night terror.
Oh no, the rockets. The sunstrikes is damaging.
Comes the nocturne one.
Oh, you didn't hit me. Sad face.
Two.
Oh, there's the anti-mage I was looking for. Come on, buddy.
Devil by day.
Magic wand, wrong slot.
Night. I stalk my next meal.
Why, thank you!
Your middle tower.
That ulti would not kill me, just so you know, buddy. I was only missing like 80 mana.
The enemy's
Daywalker,
top tower
Night
has
Stalker.
fallen. Your middle tower is under attack.
It's not time yet.
Unfortunately, nobody else is coming to defend towers, so
Stalks.
that's a major negative factor. Oh, thank you for helping out with the spam. That was way too much. She plays games, but not like Dota. She doesn't play. I'm not gonna say compatible. Like hardcore games is probably the best way to describe it. Like she'll play Mario Kart, and what I get for her birthday was what is that one game? It's a word game. I'm just trying to think of it now.
Tonight.
I guess he doesn't want last hits. Scribblenauts, that's it. She really loves Scribblenauts. She's kind of that creative, passionate individual with like arts and music and stuff. So not really as I'm more analytical minded, and it's an interesting balance.
The enemy's middle tower.
Not level 9. I don't like that vibe.
Quiet's magic. Feel my talents.
Not necessary for that sentry, but felt like it. Now I'm level 9. Good thing Shadow Shaman had really good positioning there.
This.
Unfortunately, I don't have a TP scroll, so I made a bit of a mistake here.
Too many irons in your fire.
Oh my gosh, face. No. There we go.
I remember. You expected daylight to protect if I ever get my
Yeah, I'm not gonna go. Like I said, I don't have a TP scroll, so I don't like this situation at all.
on the hunt.
Oh, wow, they do have a ward here. Yeah, hesitated too much. Oh well. Orchid will be up on Brood soon, and that will shut down the Anti-Mage and the Invoker, which is really great. What? I'm sure I'm skipping a bunch of questions. I'm 23, as I think I mentioned twice, 2 or 3 times now. But what got me into casting Dota? I just really wanted to try it out. My wife was pretty encouraging about it, but pretty much situation was like around a little bit before the international, around like the end of the defense 2, before the international, that kind of thing. I started, like, I was watching the games, I set it up on the big screen and stuff like that, and I was just like really all into the whole spectator deal, grab the popcorn, whatever. And every single time stuff was happening, there'd be a commentator like Toby or somebody, not to flame Toby or anything like that, it's just and he's grown a lot in the past several months, but as far as, there were a bunch of things that the commentator wasn't mentioning and couldn't explain very well to my wife, who didn't understand it. So half the time I was watching the game, I was actually explaining things to her, and she just, like, she thought that I was doing a pretty good job of explaining that whole thing. And the more I thought about it, really, what I really like about Dota is how it's kind of chaotic at the beginning. You don't really, when you're first getting into it, you don't know how a lot of things work, and it makes it more difficult to enjoy. But as soon as you branch out and try new things and actually get into it, there is so much to enjoy about the game. But the big disconnect there is that you don't have if without the knowledge, there's no way you can branch out into that joyous period of just enjoying the game as a whole. So I kind of wanted to bring that to people. I wanted to be like, okay, well, if I can teach a newbie how this works. So I did a little bit of coaching type stuff, and I also tried casting out, and I just did replays and stuff like that. Put them on YouTube. We went to Twitch live stream, did some in-houses with little groups like forum threads on Team Liquid and stuff like that, and IRC groups and stuff like that later on too. This guy goes one build. I know a person like that. It's very nice. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, standing still won't help you. Turn you. I'm debating using my ulti. I don't think I need to. Oh, especially now with that. Holy crap. Very effective usage of that.
Not yet. Sweet twilight.
The question is whether to extend my ulti now or wait until I kill Mirana. And the answer is to wait until I kill Mirana. Because it'll be rank 2. So that bought me a few awesome seconds.
On the hunt. I'll feast tonight.
I take classes online, but as far as alternate income, I'm just pretty much straight up doing professional Dota. It's my current status isn't enough to sustain personally, but I'm going to be branching into different things, and that should be plenty to cover up what I'm intend to be doing. So yeah, pretty much my whole objective is to make enough that I can just do this full time. Not sure if that's viable, but right now it's moving in that direction where it seems more and more likely. Every month it's getting better, so that'll be nice.
The beast.
BKB or Halberd? See, BKB would be great up against everybody but Ursa and Anti-Mage, and then of course the Ursa and the Anti-Mage. So he's gonna have to heal himself, which will set it up for Shadow Shaman to follow up. Not sure if the smoke was necessary, but it was a nice touch.
Remember the first day.
Oh no, I walked right into him. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Oh my gosh, I like lagged out right there. What the frick is my thing anyways? That was really poorly done. Wow, I really thought that I could kite him a lot better. I was trying to just get like 200 units away from him, and instead just walked right up on top of him. That was a mistake. Oh well. Why do I act cockily? I just have fun with it. Like, if there's somebody that's like doesn't have a chance to kill me and they're trying so hard, it's kind of just like good to josh them a little bit, whether or not they can hear me. Just a little bit of fun there. Gone to college? Yeah, I've done the whole dorm life thing and stuff like that. Lack a little bit of focus in some regards, so it's not easy to stay on top of my studies there. So that's why I've toned it down a little bit, but I'm pretty close to a degree, so I'm not too far off of that with the online classes, supplementing that stuff. Need to pop my ulti. Halberd. I was gonna say Halberd or BKB. I guess it doesn't matter right now. It's all the same item. That's my big decision, though. Worry about Invoker and Tinker, and I guess Arrows with BKB, or worry about what Ursa and Anti-Mage can put out. And I think that if Ursa doesn't go for MKB, that I don't need to, because Crippling Fear plus In-Cap Bite, it's just crazy good. But we'll see. Oh, got him. Got him just barely. That was so close. I'm gonna just TP up here. I don't think I can catch him, but I can try.
Your bottom tower has fallen.
Knight's procession. United.
Your top tower.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it, but I can force him to. Oh no, he's padlocking me. That's terrible. He's gonna go invis, and I don't have any detection. But we have so many disables that doesn't matter. I popped my phase boots at the wrong time, so we actually did get the invis, but it didn't matter, which is sweet. More sentry wards, more sentry wards. I think Morphling is amazing. He's always been one of my favorite heroes. I used to like a APEM BattleNet pub with him and like destroy things. I still think he has that late game potential, but it's in a different fashion. With his base damage, he really needs hardcore support. He's not like, oh, I can just go mid and be like, yeah, I'm having fun with it. No, it's very deliberate.
None can stand against me. Stalking.
So I think Morphlings has a lot of potential. It's just not something that the West has been able to unlock yet, which is kind of unfortunate. But you see him actually picked up, you know, a few times a week in the Eastern scene. It's not something you'll ban, but it's definitely something you'll see. And I think that versatility is important. Finding something that can be flexible in the middle of a team fight, defensively, offensively, that kind of thing, really big deal. Once they restored his cast animations, that's what really put him back on the grid. When they screwed that over, there was no coming back from that. The waveform delay, they did everything about it. It was just really bad. But in this stage, it's not that big deal.
Devil by day, night, silence.
Chicken.
I stalk my next by morning. You'll be not.
Debating whether or not I want to use a sentry for de-warding.
Your top tower
I don't want to just buy a gem.
Stalks.
Probably gonna regret it, but got it.
Your top tower has fallen.
Blink dagger on him. Good point.
The
Good point to
enemy's
make.
bottom tower has fallen.
Yes.
Did you play Dota 1? Yeah, a heck of a lot. I actually played ladder like crazy. I love 2v2. Obviously, it's not the main thing, but I figured they'd have a ward down here. It's obviously 2v2 ladder in like games like StarCraft and Warcraft isn't that big a deal, but I used to play ladder with my dad all the time, 2v2. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. So, Reign of Chaos, that was my jam for ladder, but as soon as Frozen Throne started picking up,
Night, silence.
it was all about Dota for me. I was custom game, spam. He thinks that he doesn't have to blink out of this, but he definitely does. Ah, I might die here. Yeah, with the blink rocket.
They never miss.
Ah, just kill him, just kill him. 8 seconds, I would say, something like that. Yeah, they actually fixed his. I think they actually made his cast animation slightly better after all the nerfs. What they did, they nerfed him threefold. They nerfed his base damage, which seems weird because that was what they fixed by skilling morph. By skilling morph, you get a strength and agi, so that helped his base damage. And then the next patch, because he was too powerful in TI2, they nerfed his base damage, they made it so that when he's casting a waveform, you can't Adaptive Strike or use Ethereal Blade, which used to be the big thing about the shotgun, is all simultaneously, just ba-boom. That's bad typing, but...
Dark wings.
There we go. TP scroll, I really want a TP scroll, but I don't know. Yeah, I need it, because we're up against Tinker. And you can keep doing this stuff, and it's annoying. As soon as I get an Ags, he's screwed. But I guess I'm going Halberd first, aren't I? BKB, Halberd, Aghanims, it all sounds good, but
The forest of the night.
can't do it all. I'm debating using this Last Darkness. I probably shouldn't. Because we're closing in on daytime, I believe. 5 a.m., yeah.
I remember the first day.
But yeah, so anyways, they nerfed him threefold, and the thing where,
Sunshine. Comes the nocturne one.
you can't listen to Allied talk.
My power is growing.
But yeah, they nerfed him 3 different ways. You still can't use abilities or items while you're waveforming, but he does have better waveform times. It's still also reduced in the cone of his waveform, but it's not that bad because he can still cast it at a relatively good time. It's not the end of the world.
Darkness, hunger.
There's so many items I want right now because I need a Basher to guarantee a Tinker kill, but I also need Aghanims to detect him if he blinks on the trees. I also need BKB to survive in a team fight, and I also need Halberd to deal with Ursa. So there's a lot of things in mind. If Ursa doesn't go BKB, I guess I can just rely on Lina Shadow Shaman to disable him, as well as Tusk, and just go for my own kind of thing. So I think Halberd is going to be the lowest priority, and I'm going to look at a couple different options instead, like BKB or Aghanims.
Darkly now.
Or Basher. Not Basher, not yet.
Devil by day.
I think I want to play the disabling role since we have so much damage already. I think I want to play the disabling role more so than that of the what do you call it? Semi-carry. So I'm not going to go like an armlet or anything like that. But still, wish I could bottle this. But right now, one thing with a Night Stalker is there's a big distinction between how you play during the day, how you play during the night. And right now it's just farm, farm, farm. Do you think you would get as big as Toby one day casting? I mean, I'd certainly hope so. I don't do this just to be like the 10th best caster. I want to strive and continuously improve until I at least some people consider me the best caster. I don't have to be the best in everybody's eyes. I don't really care about that. I don't want to run the rat race in that regard. But in general, I would like to be at least some people would appreciate me more than other casters. And I know there's always going to be people that prefer Toby. He's got that energy, that enthusiasm. It's what drew me into his casting originally back in the International 1. But it's just something that I feel that some individuals get tired of as far as that style goes. Can get tired of pretty quickly. And I want to be a reasonable alternative for that at the very least. So yeah, I would like to be as best as possible at casting. That's obviously why I do it. I don't do it just to, you know, be lackluster, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Sunstrikes are dangerous. If they have a ward here, as soon as this Centaur dies, I could die from the Sunstrike, but hopefully that's not an issue. Looks like they don't have a ward there because, actually, there's no way to know. I have a gem, but we don't have obs in that position. Oh well. Still, I keep on coming up on this crossroad of items, and it's bothering me. BKB is great on Night Stalker, so is Aghanims.
Night Stalker.
And it's pretty much just if I want to rely on my teammates or myself. I think I'm going to rely on my teammates a little bit and go for that Aghanims. Set them up more so than anything else. Still no TP scroll.
Your bottom tower has fallen.
Too late. Oh well. You're going to lose some towers during the daytime. That's going to happen. The problem is it's going to be about 34 minutes before we get the nighttime, and we need to start pushing and playing aggressively. So we'll have a very long night ahead of us when we get to about 34 minutes, but until then, a little slow, a little slow. I think they're all mythical, but I have no idea.
The
Easy peasy. And now I'm happy to join the party.
Quiet's magic.
Ah, bash by Roshan. Not liking that.
Wings out.
I don't want to walk into Tinker though. Unless that happens. I don't want to walk into Tinker. I want to snowball into him.
I remember the first day. Comes tonight.
Sweet. Got my axe. Where's our prey? I wasn't really paying enough attention as they're positioning, so whatever. Oh.
Night silence. I stalk my next meal.
Now I can kite to no end because I can see her constantly. Jim's not gonna... Oh, okay, that's not good. I'm probably dead here. I am actually. There's no reason I should live. Pick up Gem when you can. Ah. Yeah, he'll have Invis. Just go get Gem. Oh well, as long as I don't lose Gem when I die, I'm okay with it, but I'd rather have some different things. That's where the BKB would have been really nice, because during the Yules you can just spam the BKB. As soon as you hit the ground, you're perfectly fine. So that's why I'm definitely going to be going for that next, and then a Basher after that. But yeah, long term. Oh, I don't run the subscription type stuff, so I wouldn't know. I think most people do $5, so $7, yeah, seems a bit much, but that would be something that the administration, you would want to check up with them. And yeah, I play with auto attack off. There's some heroes I would prefer to have auto attack on. Warfling's one of them, for example, but no, it's just in general, there's a vast majority of heroes I'd prefer not to have it on. How can you counter an anti-mage when he's fully farmed? If he doesn't run BKB, he disables. If he does, other disables that pierce magic immunity. But no, like this anti-mage, he has Manta, but if he pops that early, then I can just Crippling Fear the main one. And so the illusions will deal damage, so it's not that big a deal. The biggest issue with anti-mage, his strength is, I mean, he scales decently with attack speed, but his biggest thing is that he's so mobile. He has, you know, rank 4 Blink and Treads and a Battle Fury, and he's going to be the fastest farmer on the map, for sure. Perfect timing for my ulti to come up. Really happy about that, actually. So this is going to be a long, long night for them, which is great for us. Like I said, around the 33-34 minute mark. But yeah, to counter anti-mage, lock him down as best you can. Hard disables is what you need. Soft disables mean very, very little to him. Maybe pick up an Orchid, could be pretty strong. Those kinds of things. That's something to keep in mind. As far as those that don't know what Aghanim Scepter does, it allows me to see this guy right here. And screw him over completely. Oh, okay. Or see him over there, and then screw him over completely later. No, I'll take the arrow. But yeah, so he can't do stuff like that anymore. And that's my main objective, is to make sure that people can't play.
I stole my next meal.
Come at me, buddy. Come at me. No blink for you. Blink for you. Never mind, I lied completely. Arrow. Okay. There we go. But he's going to be able to wreck us. We don't need to fight him head on when he has a BKB active. That's just foolish. I mean, I know we have... Do not want. Oh my gosh, that block. Oh, that block. I hate that so much. That is the worst thing I've ever seen. What? I'm alive. What the fuck am I doing? Run for my life. Run for my life. How did I not think I was alive? Like, I don't even know what happened, but I was like just sitting there acting like I was dead, looking at my next item to pick up. And then I'm like, why would I have an item to pick up if I just died? Yeah, Jeb snipe. All day. I think he can survive me in Sunstrikes too.
Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower is under attack.
For TPL, that's somebody else's business. It's Angela's business, and I'm just the caster for it. So it's in its organization, and they've been doing it for many seasons. And for this season specifically, I'm casting for them through the playoffs and all that. So yeah, just caster for hire, I suppose. Whatever it may be. Anyways, he's only got Battle Ethereum Vlads. I'm not scared of that anti-mage whatsoever. It's the Ursa that's causing problems, and we try to fight him head-on when he has a BKB active. That's pointless. He'll just life steal like crazy. He's unstoppable. I'm liking this Invoker, though. Who's Yules? Oh, that was Lena's Yules. Okay, I thought that he was like... This Invoker keeps on, like... Boom! No siree, Bob. Not for long, mother... Just gotta avoid that. And there we go. Oh, no. This is bad. I didn't pick up a sentry or a dust, and he has the gem in question, so don't do it.
Turn one.
No. Yeah, too much. They really were gung ho about that. So you can tell they have good vision and stuff like that, but without a gem, back to the old sentry grindstone. Which makes me regret selling off my magic water bottle. But oh well. Anyways, what do you think is most unbalanced hero item mechanic on competitive Dota? Nyx got fixed pretty well. Keep It Light got fixed pretty well. There's so many broken mechanics, but that's what makes the game work, so I can't really talk about that. Flat Cannon is probably one of the top ones there. That damage is ridiculous. I would probably say Flat Cannon is pretty close to the most broken thing. I'm not saying that you can't deal with it. I'm just saying it's insanely ridiculous what can be done with that, especially since it has 100% scaling with plus damage. If it did like 100% scaling with bonus with the base damage and then like 70% scaling with plus damage or something like that, I think it'd be a lot more in line with what you would expect from that kind of hero. I don't know. Obviously I don't get to have a full opinion, but whatever.
Knight's procession. To battle.
Your top tower is under attack.
Yes.
There's 4 people here. I do not want to part of that. And of course, Face tanks the arrow, so this is a lost fight already.
I smoke my next move.
Oh my gosh. See me and walking into things on high ping? Not cool. Not cool at all. It's a disaster. But yeah, no, the face tank of the Broodmother arrow, so she can orchid anyone. And then the snowball hitting half of us while the rest faced just ate a ton of meteor damage. Big waste.
Hunger.
I'm under attack.
Yes, he still had gem, as a matter of fact. Why wouldn't he? Just doesn't make sense.
Remember the first United.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower
No,
is
not the
falling.
burst. Not the burst.
Dire structures are fortified.
Yeah, so he kinda got shredded there. Painfully.
Your middle barracks
Broken mechanics. I mean, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of broken mechanics in the game, quote unquote, but they make it all work out in the end. So even Gyrocopter, some people can deal with. Wisp is extremely broken, but in the loveliest ways. I think he's so amazing, and I don't think they should change a single thing about him. Items. Are there any items that are broken? I would say that Yasha's a little too strong and Sanj is a little too weak. I think Vanguard should be disassemblable, but that's just a minor change. It's not really a brokenness thing. It's just kind of me commandeering the topic and saying, really need to be able to disassemble Vanguard. I wouldn't care, but I love Bristleback, and it sounds stupid, but I would love to have a Vitality booster, a Ring of Health, and a stout shield in my inventory without them combining together. Like, I always have to sell the stout shield. I actually don't even go stout shield anymore because I end up getting both those two items really quickly. I want the casual vitality booster to maybe build into heart long term, but most importantly just have
Night's procession.
most importantly just have
To battle.
dang it. The ring of health built into a hood while yeah.
Death stalks you.
He's gone. Oh well. What is that TP? That was hilarious. Yeah, Daedalus isn't the best on him until he's already gotten like 4 other items.
Stay. Dark wings.
Too early. Now we've wasted all our cooldowns on 1 AM. We can't even do that much. I mean, we got them, but, you know. At what cost?
Listen for the wings of the night. Darkly now.
I said it's not time yet.
Oh, my night vision. Oh, no, no! Damn it.
Stalking.
Saddest panda. Yeah, I don't really care if they snipe or whatever.
Nightmare.
They can snipe all they want. I can dodge sunstrikes all day, with or without. We don't have... The Lina left us. We have no way of killing this ward.
Walker. Night stalker.
That's pathetic. And she still dies. Because what?
Goblins cannot turn.
No, that's blatant snipes.
This sustains. Gold breathing.
Daggons and blinks, daggons and blinks.
The beast stalks.
Your top tower is under attack.
In the forest of the
Your
night.
top tower
Do you think
has
your
fallen.
void is stupid when it cancels TPs? I think it's awesome when it cancels TPs. Like, if he didn't have a way to cancel TPs, he'd be worse than Bloodseeker. And I'm not even joking about that. People use that phrase sarcastically because Bloodseeker is a worse Night Stalker in most situations. But if he couldn't cancel TPs, he'd honestly be worse than Bloodseeker. So, yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with him having that potential. And I think it's really good because, you know, there's a decision there. If he can't, if you're fast enough and he can't close the distance, if he voids you, you just TP right then and you're fine. If he has a basher, that's another thing, but that's you know, an extra 3,000 gold he has to pick up. So.
Yes.
Shadowblade's broken in pubs. In your opinion, what is the best hero for destroying noobs? Bristleback's really good at it. Because they don't understand his mechanics. They're just like, oh, shiny spiky,
My next meal.
punch it. But if I really gotta think of something, super pub stomp. There's a lot of pub stomp heroes. There's a lot of them. If you know, I mean, if you know your way around Meepo and people don't understand them, then they're just gonna get destroyed.
Roshan has fallen to the ring.
But like a go-to stomp hero? It used to be Beastmaster for me. I used to just be like, okay, well, I'll just gank like friggin' crazy, control the mid lane 100%, and win the game.
Fear quiets magic.
Wow. I almost got him. Pyro! I couldn't do anything about that. I was deafening into the position, so no buyback. That's probably going to be a good game here. And he has cheese too, so pops that off, and they're all set. Cold snap! Cold snap. Or just let the Tinker do the laser thing.
Versus laser beams. It's a timeless struggle.
Okie dokie.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, Slark's good.
Your top
Do you think roaming in pubs is okay? Depends on how aggressively you do, because if you just go mindlessly roaming and you end up being like level 2 because you've only gotten, like, even if you get 3 kills in 10 minutes, it's still you not getting dedicated farm on lanes. So there's plenty of times, especially when pubs are, it's non-coordinated. Pubs don't really know what you're doing and they don't really synergize with it. You're like, I'm coming in, you land a perfect stun, and then they're like, oh, I was farming creeps for 5 seconds and only started moving towards them after they had already killed you or something, I don't know.
Your middle tower has fallen.
Woo! Got him.
I said
No, I want to silence that person. She can leap. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah.
Your ancient radiant victory.
Yeah, the problem with roaming in pubs is that it's going to be very, very difficult to coordinate those things. I don't think Ursa's too strong, though. Support heroes... I actually don't understand that question. Do you think support heroes are balanced well when compared to carries? Well... I love the dynamic of the early game, mid game, late game shift. I think that, yeah, there are some carries that are way too weak in the early game, and some carries that some supports that are way too worthless in the late game. But I think people have gotten used to that kind of time-based momentum shift. That, like, we actually see games where you go with try support, aggressive tri lane. You go in, you get a Treant and a Leshrac and an Ogre Magi, or an Ogre Magi and a Leshrac and a Mirana. Those things have been seen competitively recently. And those kinds of things, if you realize that there's a lot of supports that can still do a lot with farm, like the Leshrac, like the Treant. I wouldn't say Mirana's a support, but in that sense, she's generally being played supportively to set up kills. Either way, the point is that there are plenty of great supports that do so much that I think they're still very, very relevant. You're still going to need 2 on a team for a good, solid lineup. And there's so many different good ones to go with. So I think they're really, really well balanced. You do have to look into items like Eul's and Ghost Scepter. If you pick up a support and then you don't know those items, you don't use those items, 4 staff on that list, then yeah, you're going to feel like you're just complete utter trash because they pop a BKB and they close the distance with a gap close or whatever, and you're just dead. But then if you have a 4 staff or a Eul's or a Ghost Scepter, whichever fits the bill in that situation, it's not going to be that bad. Dagon is never worth upgrading unless you're Tinker. Essentially, it's always more... There's no such thing as getting a second Dagon, but... yeah, because they share cooldown, they would always do that. But it's actually surprisingly efficient to get a rank 1 Dagon. Get that on Nyx or get that on somebody else who can just benefit a ton from that little extra burst, and then leave it at that. Upgrading to Dagon 2, 3, 4, and 5, completely worthless unless you've already run out of things to spend money on, and then you might as well. But anyways, I'll do a couple more questions before I conclude, but I'm not going to be doing any more games for today, so this is pretty much it. Yeah, just going to do a few more questions so anybody else wants to throw something in chat, but that's going to be it here. And I do appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll give a quick shout out to Rek, Pansalutta, Anti-Badass, 420 Killa, Orangutan, Mr. Plow, Jakes, Marshall, Erickson, all those guys. Thank you guys for participating in Blaze of Veer battles. It didn't work so well for us in the late game, but not a big deal. Anyways, but yeah, no, that's my last game for now. If you guys want to check out when I'm doing Blaze of Veer battles in the future, you can just go over to my Twitter, twitter.com/blazecasting, and follow on that if you guys do Twitter at all. I used to not, but I'm actually finding it really awesome for the Dota 2 scene specifically because there's a lot of good personalities that put a lot into what they have to say on that. So, yeah, if you follow me on /blazecasting, that's where I inform when I'm doing casts, when I'm doing viewer games, that kind of thing. So that's where you would check me out there. But I'll do a few more questions in chat before I conclude for the day. And other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. I won't spoil it since it's been a little bit of time there. But Fnatic versus Empire, really, really interesting game, especially Game 2. Really worth checking out. But nevertheless, thank you guys. And that's going to be it for me for today.